This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. What I'm doing is a quick rundown of why people keep saying, I can never pay off my Santander auto loan. I can never pay off my Santander auto loan. And here's the reason why. And this, what I have right here, is an actual worksheet that dealers use, sales reps use. Step number one, what they do is they get you to go and test drive the vehicle. Once you fall in love with the vehicle, they start working on the sales process. This is what you call a sales process. So, step one, test drive it. You like it, I want it, I love it. Then let's talk about the numbers. Once they have you in that mode, you've already said yes to one part of the sales process. Now they're trying to get you to say yes to part two. Now, look at this sheet here. Right here on this sheet, they put this right here because they want to remind you of the vehicle that you want to get. Also, they need to take that off the lot for the time being because you're actually in negotiations for the vehicle. But right here, they put the make and model because they want you to continually look at, hey, I want my Mercedes Benz 550 SL vehicle. Even though it might have some years on it, it doesn't matter. I'm going to look good driving it. And then here's another statement that they want you to say yes to. I will buy today if numbers are agreeable to the parties. Yes, they want you to say yes. They make you write yes right there. They make you put your initials right here, even though this is not a contract. They might make you think that it's a contract, but it's not. So now the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to try to work out if you're trading in a vehicle. And for this example, we're going to say that you have a vehicle you think is worth $10,000 because you paid a lot for it and you think you should get 10,000. Maybe even the blue book says it's 10,000, but the dealer is going to try to tear that down, tear that apart with their service person looking at it, saying that the tires, the mileage, the carpet, the seats, everything. They're going to try to tear that vehicle down and they're going to come down on the number and they're going to lowball you. So they'll say, we'll give you $3,000 for it, even though you want 10. You might haggle and say, well, hey, I owe money on that vehicle. And they'll say, well, you owe $10,000 on it, but we can only give you 3,000. And they say, okay, what we can do is we can do you a favor. We'll put that other 7,000 on to the vehicle, and you'll be able to get your vehicle. So you're only paying 15,000 for your vehicle. We'll throw that other 7,000 from the other vehicle on to the loan, and that'll make it $22,000. They do this for on purpose for a reason, breaking this down is because they don't want you to think that you're paying 22,000 for the vehicle. They want you, which is true, is that you're paying an additional 7,000 from the loan that you had from the other vehicle that you had. So they're going to pull that over and stack it on top of your new loan. Then they're going to say you got $2,000 that you're paying down payment because the banks, they do want you to have some type of skin in the game. And then right here is where all the magic starts to happen. This is where everything really, where all the negotiations is going to start. Is that they're going to ask you what type of monthly payment you think you can afford to do. And you're going to say, well, to yourself, this is a Mercedes. I'm going to look good driving this Mercedes Benz 550 SL, even though it's 2006 or 2008 or whatever. I'm going to look good driving it. The car looks good. If I can get it at 400 to 450, I'm good. I can do this. Notice what's not in this worksheet. What is missing? Interest rate. Interest rates is missing. There's a reason why. Because the interest rate that they give you is what's going to make this whole deal be able to go through. And normally, and I'm pretty sure that everybody can remember this happening to them. It happened to me when I had started buying vehicles when I was younger. I got hit with this same thing here. Is that they came out and they increased this here. But now let's get into how the numbers work and how it is almost impossible to pay off one of these vehicles. All right, so let's go to our amortization schedule. So what we got here is we have the total price of the vehicle with our 15,000, 7,000 that they pulled over from the other loan that so they could do the payoff. 22,000, you have your $2,000 uh, down payment. So we're at $20,000. Now let's just look at how this looks if it's just a regular loan. Mid-grade credit, not excellent credit, mid-grade at 5%, 5-year term, you're at $377. You got 60 payments. When you make your payments, you have $377. Pr- Principal is going to be 900. I mean, I'm sorry, $294, and the interest payments is going to be 83.33. So, but what happens with the Santander loans is that they give you that high interest rate because they say this, your credit score is not as good as it needs to be, but we're going to work with you. We can get you financed here. No one else would finance you on the vehicle. And so now what they're going to try to do is to keep you focused on this here, on the monthly payment. They don't want you focused on the interest rate, and they're going to throw in, and we've seen this 25% interest in the vehicle. Now the monthly payment is $587.03. The principal is only $170, and it's flip flop where most of the money now is going on interest payments. On interest payments is what's happening now. So now let's flip this over, and you're getting ready to try to walk out of there because you're like, hey, I don't want to pay that amount. I said if you can get me 400 to 450, I'll do the deal. They're gonna haggle a little bit and say, are you sure you can't afford it? I mean, this is a Mercedes. It's only $187 more per month. Some people might take the deal because they feel like they can't back out and they really want the vehicle really bad. The other vehicle, that there's probably something wrong with your vehicle, and you're like, hey, I need to get into this newer vehicle. So you might say, hey, I'll take the deal. But some people may say, no, I can't take the deal. And what they'll do, they'll keep that interest rate the same, or they might even bump that interest rate up a little bit. Let's just bump it up to 26%. And they're going to say, well, we're doing you a favor and we're going to bump the years to pay the loan up to 7 years. So now you're at 84 months to pay for a car, and they got you down to 519. So now most people are going to probably say, well, I'm not going to haggle. That's only, 70 something dollars more than what I said. I'll go ahead and take the vehicle. But say you're not happy and you're not going to take it. You want to get that payment down. They're going to push that down to 8 years. And you might be saying there it's impossible. No one is doing 8-year loans on the vehicle. Yes, they are doing 8-year loans on vehicles. And so you can see what ends up happening. You got a 26% interest rate on a $20,000 loan, not a $20,000 vehicle in value. The vehicle in value is probably a lot less than that. They've stacked on from your previous loan on top of that. And now look at what's happening. Only $63.43 is going towards your actual payoff on the vehicle, and all of it is going towards interest. And look at this, what you end up paying. All of this. It takes you years before you flip flop. Let's see where it starts to flip. Right. It flips right here after you've paid 65 payments. After you've paid 65 payments is when you break even on where you have more going to the vehicle, but you still have just as much going on the interest. And you can see all the way down, taking you 96 payments to pay off this vehicle. Total loan cost $47,000. Total interest $27,000. This is what people are yelling and screaming about, saying that they've paid on vehicles for 5, 6, 7 years and they still haven't paid off their vehicle. Now, let me just talk about one last thing. If you go into a charge off status with Santander on your vehicle, these numbers all get changed over big time to where you can end up paying more because they're doing a reset of the loan. That's where the interest still keeps building up and nothing gets paid off on the principal. So if you skip 3 months, your interest rate will still keep getting added on to what you owe to the principal of your loan. So instead of your vehicle, let's just say you missed 3 payments and your interest payments, let's just pick somewhere here like you've done a couple of years and your interest payment is let's just round it off at uh three, well, right here, let's see, $350. So you miss 3 payments, or let's just say you missed 4 payments. So that's going to be $1,400 that they add on to here. So now on your loan, instead of it being where you had at this time period, where we're at here, right here, where you would have only owed $16,025, what ends up happening is that they're going to refigure this. Let me get the calculator up here. They're going to refigure this, and you're going to end up owing, I'm going to pull my calculator up on my phone. So right there you have, here we go, here the calculator is popping up very slow. We're going to get it here because what I want you to see, this is how they do this stuff here. So you have, and we're on this line right here, so 16,125 plus 350 plus 350 plus 350. Let's just do it at three. You missed 3 payments. So actually, they're going to refigure that month at a $17,000 balance rather than this balance that they had right here. So it's going to be different. It's going to reset all of this. That's going to extend the month. So you're thinking 96 payments. This takes you into the hundreds of payments because you're going to have missed payments and they're going to add that amount onto the principal amount. That is what they're doing. That's why people are yelling and screaming that they can't get their vehicles paid off. So I hope this was educational to you. And you should do this when you're going to do a loan. You should do this. My wife and I walked away from a vehicle. It was the first car that we stood up and said, we're not going to get it. It was, I think we were probably 26 or 27 years old. It was a Chevy Tahoe. We wanted that vehicle. It was going to be a nice vehicle. This was back in 1990, what, six or somewhere around that time period. And the dealer did all of this stuff, got us to the payment, and we said no. This number one, they wasn't giving us the right amount for our trade in. It was a trade. It was a paid off vehicle, and we were like, it just doesn't look right. This is really after my wife and I went through our phase of where we were starting to make better financial decisions because of what we had went through in 1994, and we said no to it. And the dealer, I mean, the car salesman started, in a way, he started screaming at us. We were like, what the hell are you talking about? Like we had to buy it. You can walk away from any car deal that you want to. They cannot force you into buying the vehicle. But this guy, he showed his true colors when my wife and I said, no, we're not going to accept the deal. We're going to walk away from it. So you always have that choice, and you should always run the numbers because that vehicle would have been a trap for us. Don't get trapped in any type of auto loan like these anymore. You can always start yourself over. You just got to figure out what you got to do Straight up, this is what I did for years. I drove vehicles that were pretty much not worth anything, and we didn't have any monthly payments on them. They were cost like $2,000 and $3,000. I didn't care what people said and how they looked at me. It didn't matter. There was one vehicle that I had. This is the truth, for my delivery vehicle for delivering the newspapers for my company before I had started hiring people and started getting everything financially better. One of the vehicles did not have a floor in one of the parts of the truck. That is the truth. And now also a work van that I had for delivering our magazines did not have floor, like I could feel the cold coming from the floor. Yes, the vehicle had heat, but when cold is coming from the floor of the vehicle, you could actually see the road below. It's cold, and up here in Wisconsin it was cold. But that's just part of my story of how I built my success, because I was not going to get trapped in getting a vehicle that I was going to end up making all the monthly payments on at that time, because my wife and I made a decision in 1994 that we were not going to go that route anymore. So when I had to get a work truck after that in 95, 96, I just paid a couple of thousand and dealt with it until that thing would break down. So if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. You need your help with if you need your reports and scores, please visit the link the number 3scores.com. Those links are below this video. And always run your numbers, but this is the real reason why people say that they cannot pay off their Santander auto loan.